Hey guys, and welcome to day 3 of our 5-day series on overcoming fear and anxiety. On day 1, we talked about who is God, and day 2 about walking with God. Today, we are talking about trusting in the Lord and what that looks like and what that means for us. So I'm going to start off by reading out of Jeremiah 17, verses 7 and 8. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought, and it never fails to bear fruit. So in this passage, we can just visualize a strong tree next to the water, and it's sending out its roots where it needs its nutrients and constantly is being refreshed by this water. And even when heat and drought comes, when the situation changes around this tree, it does not change because it is firmly planted into exactly what it needs. And when we firmly root ourselves in the Lord, when situations around us change, we know that we are founded on a rock who doesn't move and doesn't change, and we can trust in the Lord. And I love whenever it says whose confidence is in him. Because if you think about being confident, like you're bold, you're sitting up tall, you know the truth, and you can walk firmly founded in that. And so when we walk with confidence in God, things around us don't shake us. And I think this is really good to remember with relationships with people, because when we're not rooted in the Lord, it can really shake our relationships. For me, whenever I'm not sending my roots into where my help is found or my nutrients come from, the Lord who reminds me who I am and refreshes me daily, when I'm not doing that, when I'm not abiding with him, spending time with him and trusting in him, I'm sending out my roots everywhere else, trying to grasp for knowing that I'm worthy, that I'm beautiful, and it affects the people around me because I'm asking from them something that they cannot give me: assurance, worthiness, and affirmation. My relationship with my husband will suffer if I look to him for my needs, because he can't give that to me. It's all from the Lord, and that's for a purpose, because God knows our need and he meets us right where we're at. And when I'm confident in who I am in him and who he is, then when that heat comes, when the problems come around me, when I'm not feeling worthy, I can remember, put my roots in the Lord. Send my roots out like the tree by the water, and my leaves will always be green. I will always be bearing fruit. I will be confident in him. And there's another verse that I really like out of Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. So first it says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. He doesn't just want pieces. He doesn't just want something over here and here. He wants everything, all of our trust, all of our life. And he'll reveal to us when we're not giving him those places, whenever we're leaning on our own strength and trying to do things ourselves. We'll come to a place where it's just not working, and he'll remind us, this is not for you to do yourself. And so trust in the Lord with all your heart, all the time. Lean not on your own understanding. Don't try to do everything out of your own strength or try to figure everything out, because God's ways are so much higher, and we can trust that. And it says, in all of your ways, submit to him. And that submission is just surrender, opening up your hands and saying, Lord, you've got me. I trust you, and I give you all places of my life. And with that, he says, and I will make your path straight. You won't be wandering. You won't be wondering, where am I going? I don't know what's coming in my life. That causes fear. That causes anxiety. When we know that we're walking with the Lord, even though our path may not look straight to us, we might be the Lord might be leading us over here, and we don't see it as straight, but He does, because He knows everything I bring you to and bring you out of has a purpose and a place. And we can trust Him, and we can have peace in that. All right, friends, we are going to get started in our simple seated posture on our mat, crossing at the ankles, letting the knees come out to the sides, rooting through the tailbone, and sitting up tall, reaching all the way through the crown of the head, getting our long and straight spine. Close the eyes, and we're going to start with our deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, drawing in that breath into our body, and exhale, sigh it out, release. Inhale through the nose, filling up the chest, filling up the belly, and exhale, release it out. Great job. One more time. Inhale, deep breath, all the way up to the top, and hold it here for 3, 2, 1, and exhale, release it out. Slowly open the eyes and inhale the fingertips high, and exhale, release the right hand down to the mat, reaching over with that left hand. Inhale, slightly pulling back the left shoulder, and exhale, reaching over, opening up the left side of the body. Making sure the hips are planted, we're just using the torso here to reach. Inhale, and exhale, swing the left arm in front, bring the right hand to meet it, and fold over the legs, letting that chest just rest over on top of the legs, opening up the lower back. Inhale in your fold, and exhale, slowly walk the hands back in towards the body. Inhale the fingertips high, and exhale, take it to the other side. Left hand comes down to the ground, right arm reaches over, and come to your side stretch on the other side, opening up the right side of the body. Inhale, slightly pulling that right shoulder back, and exhale, reach it over. One more deep breath here. Inhale, and exhale, swing the arms forward and come to your forward fold over the legs. You're starting to open up the hips here, open up the lower back, straightening out through that spine, reaching and folding here. Pressing into the hands, we're going to start to tuck the toes and lift the hips, coming into our downward facing dog. Spreading out those fingers wide. Maybe walking out your dog here, warming up the hamstrings for our practice. Inhale. And exhale, letting the heels start to reach towards the mat, bringing the chest in towards the thigh. Inhale, look to the top, and exhale, walk the feet in between the hands, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, sliding the hands just a little bit up the legs, and exhale, fold down. Bending through the knees. Inhale, reach the fingertips all the way up to extended mountain, and exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, extended mountain, And interlacing the fingers except for the pointers, take your tilt to the right, opening up the left side of the body. Inhale back to center. Exhale, tilt to the left, keeping the shoulders and the hips pointed towards the front. Inhale back to center, slightly pressing the hips forward, and exhale, bring the forehead back, getting a slight back bend here. Inhale back to center, and exhale, fold all the way down, letting the body hang low, opening up through the hamstrings. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, plant the hands and step the right foot all the way back. Release the knee and toes down, coming into your low lunge. And here you can use blocks or tall books under the hands for added support, or you can place the hands into the ground. Hands can come to heart center, or you can reach the fingertips all the way up, taking whatever version of low lunge you would like. Just making sure that those hips are square to the front, and we're opening up through that right quad and opening up the hips. Inhale in your low lunge. Exhale. Plant those hands back onto the mat if they weren't already. Inhale and exhale, send the hips back, lifting the left toes from the mat and finding your half split over that leg. Folding over, focusing into the left hamstring, breathing into this space. Inhale, bending back into the front knee, and exhale, coming into your low lunge. And then we're going to tuck the back toes and inhale, rise up all the way to your high lunge. Fingertips coming high, sinking the hips low. Our toes are pointed towards the front, back heel is lifted, and our shoulders and hips are square to the front. Inhale, open up that chest. Exhale, take your lunge just a little bit deeper. Great job finding strength in those legs. Inhale, straighten the front leg, and exhale, come into your pyramid pose by releasing the hands beside the front foot. Again, you can use blocks under the hands if that helps assist this posture. Inhale, half lift away from the leg, and exhale, fold down. Inhale, look to the top of the mat, and exhale, step the right foot to meet the left, ending up in your forward fold at the top. We're going to take these postures on the opposite side. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold down. Bending through the knees, inhale, lift all the way up into extended mountain, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to mountain, and exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, plant the hands, and this time stepping the left foot back, releasing the knee and toes down, and coming into your low lunge on the opposite side. Using those blocks or books, or maybe the hands are at heart center or reaching all the way up, taking your modification of low lunge today. Open up the chest, inhale, and exhale, bring the hands down and send the hips back, coming into your half split. Folding over this right leg, breathing into the hamstrings. Inhale, bending back into the front knee, and exhale, ending up in your low lunge. And tucking the back toes, inhale, rise up all the way to your high lunge. Sinking down into this posture. Great job. Focusing on squaring off those hips and shoulders. Open up the chest, reaching the fingertips high. Inhale and exhale. Great job. Plant those hands next to the foot and come into your pyramid posture, straightening that front leg and folding over. Inhale, half lift in your pyramid, and exhale, fold into that leg. Awesome job. Inhale, look to the top of the mat, and exhale, step the foot forward, coming into your forward fold. Hanging heavy here. Maybe nodding the head yes and shaking the head no, releasing any tension in the neck. Taking a moment to breathe here. That was some great movement. And whenever you're ready, we're going to heel toe the feet to the outsides of the mat. Toes are out wider than the heels. And then slowly bending through the knees, release the hips low, coming into a yogi squat. Maybe using the block or book under the tailbone to release some pressure from the hips. You can bring the hands to heart center and use the elbows to press the knees out, opening up the knees a little bit wider. Close the eyes and inhale in this great hip opening stretch. Open mouth, exhale, release it out. Maybe taking a sway from side to side in your squat. One more deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale, planting the hands, reaching the hips high, and heel toe the feet back to center. Slightly bending through the knees. Inhale, reach it all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. We're going to come to tree pose. So starting to root down into that left foot. Draw the right foot below or above the knee, not on the knee to protect it here. But find where you'd like your tree pose to be, and then bring the hands to heart center, starting to find that balance. Maybe there's a little bit of wobbling today. That's all right. Feel free to come back into your tree pose if you ever wobble out of it. Standing straight up, drawing the crown of the head tall, and then we're going to start to grow our tree high, bringing the fingertips tall and opening up the hands. Finding a great balance into that left foot, focused on all four corners of the foot, rooted into the ground. Inhale and exhale. Slowly bring the hands back to heart center and release that right foot down. Awesome job. Walking it out a little bit, we're going to switch to the other side. Plant that right foot into the mat. And then bring the left foot either below or above the right knee. Finding your version of tree pose today. Bringing the hands into heart center, starting to find that balance. And then whenever you're ready, start to grow your tree, opening up the fingers. Up and out, opening up that chest. Inhale and exhale. Again, don't feel bad about wobbling coming out of the tree pose, but come join us back in whenever you're ready. Take one more deep breath in your tree. And exhale it out. Hands come back to heart center and release the left foot back into the mat. Awesome job. We're going to come back into our extended mountain. Inhale, reach the fingertips high. And exhale, fold it all the way down. Bend the knees and come to seated on the mat. Bring the soles of the feet together and come into your butterfly pose, letting the knees come out wide and opening up the hips here. You can use blocks under the knees if that feels good. Inhale, sitting up tall. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you use your exhale to fold over the legs, taking this hip opener just a little bit deeper. Breathe into the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, rise back up to center, and then plant the soles of the feet into the mat, giving those knees a hug, and slowly release the back onto the mat. And whenever you've made it, bring the fingertips up overhead, point through the toes, and get a long straight line all the way through the body. Inhale, reaching long, stretching, and start to roll onto the right side of the body, coming into our fetal pose. Bending through the knees, left hand just slightly presses into the mat. Close the eyes here, and the head is resting on that right bicep. Coming back into our deep breaths, finding our restful posture to close out our practice. Each day we finish with meditation questions, journal questions if you'd like to write out your thoughts, things to pray about. I encourage you to use this time to open up your heart, be honest and vulnerable, and listen into what the Lord is speaking to you. Have you been depending on your own strength or choosing to lean into the Father? Are you confident in the Lord's provision for your life, that He cares about every little detail? What can you trust God with today? Father, thank you for your strength, Lord. Thank you that we can lean into you and you will not disappoint us. We apologize for the times we have depended on our own strength. Lord, give us a new confidence in you today. Remind our hearts that you are working all things for our good. You've got us, God. We can trust you. Thank you for your word that is truth. We love you, Lord. We pray all these things in your name. Amen. Thank you guys again so much for being with me today on your mat, moving and breathing, and I look forward to seeing you next time.